because of what he's doing with you guys. I said to him, I was like, you don't necessarily need someone to just like come pick you up, but I do think you really need some kind of support, because I really wasn't aware that you could, like, it sounds crazy, but I didn't know that there was like a form of help that could just support you in life in general. I was like, I thought if you got a problem, you go see someone, they talk to you, and then like you're kind of fixed, or you see them a few times, because that's what I was trying with my therapist. I was driving to Marbella, which was like an hour and a half every week, and it just wasn't happening. So when I realised, like, I joined this program and it was one-to-one I said to Dan, I was like, you've got to find something equivalent for men or for someone who can help you with your struggles, you know. Like, as I said, for him, it was just like, I feel like every day I knew what my struggles were eventually, and I could kind of pinpoint them. But for Dan, I was like, we speak about everything, and everything I tell you now, he's so happy for me to discuss. I haven't asked him because he doesn't know I'm having it, but he would be so happy for me to discuss. I said, you just need someone who can like help you realise how amazing you are, because he even says, like, when I doubt myself, he'll pick me up, but I'll say, but that is you, and you've got the ability to do this, and he doesn't see it. And I think to a certain extent, a lot of us struggle seeing our own amazingness and what we're gifted with. But I really wanted this for him, and I said, you need to find something. And I don't know how he came across you guys, but when he mentioned it, I was like, actually, I do know. And she mentioned that he does something similar, and I said to Dan, I'll find him online, have a look what he does, and he did. And then I think that was the link to you guys. Anyway, and I said, right, you have to join this. You've got to do it. He was like, yeah, I think. And this was the thing as well. He said, you know, it's like the fact for him that he was actually putting money into something for himself and not like for the family or for me or for his business was huge. So yeah, I just told him to do it, and he did it. Like, I've seen the Dan that I see now is just like a million miles off from the Dan. In fact, he's a different person to when I met him. But I think because we've grown together, it's amazing. If I hadn't changed, and he would have almost outgrown me, do you know what I mean? Like, if he'd got to where he is now versus the guy that I met, and I'd stayed the same. And I guess that happens in a lot of relationships and marriages. It's sad when it does, because I can completely see how that happens. But I feel like we're always growing together, which is just amazing. But he's now like, I feel like he's ahead of me in some things, and it's not a competition, but a lot of the things like he says and like wants to implement just like in our lives and at home and stuff, or business wise, I'm like, it's never really been that before. That's amazing. Like, a lot of the conversations he has, so it's just everything. It's like home life, work life, and just personally between us on like a relationship level. He's so much better at resolving conflict, and I never would have expected him to be that person. Like, he's never learned how to do that. And this is just like the beauty in what you guys do and what I've learned. But it kind of just goes to show that you can kind of reteach yourself and re-educate yourself in so many ways. And I never would have expected him to resolve conflicting situation, because it just wasn't who he was. His confidence has just like, it has soared. He's especially like in his business. And we said a few weeks ago, we're going to agree to one morning every week, have like a coffee morning, just us two, and talk about business. Because like, as I said before, he motivates me a lot and kind of like tells me how amazing I am when I don't see it, and vice versa. I finally feel like he's actually showing up as the masculine figure in our relationship. Like, he's showing up as the man, and it's just like the most amazing feeling, because I've never had that. Like, I've never felt that way. I love Dan for all of his reasons and all of everything that he's amazing for. And this, for the first time, he's actually been like, no, if anyone's getting a job, it's me. Like, I'm the man of the family. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like, this has never happened. And it made me feel like incredible. Like, I never ever would have imagined him ever saying those words. It's things like, you know, he'll come away and he'll say, right, we've got to block our time block. This is what we've got to do. So from these hours, and I was like, oh, okay, like taking notes. Whereas before, I would have been the one to come away with a suggestion and be like, right, this is what we've got to do. He took something that he'd been talking about and just not doing it. And he said, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it now. And I was like, that would be great, because then I wouldn't have to like remind you and stuff. And he's really like owned things and just got shit done. Whereas before, he'd like put it on a list and wait, probably never do it. So that for me has been like amazing. Sometimes you hear things, and he's just held himself accountable for so much more than he ever has in his whole life, to be honest. And it's just so refreshing and amazing to see. And I mean, business wise, I know it's helped him, but between us on a personal relationship level, he's just changed. Like, he's a changed person, and it's really incredible. everything that you teach and coach, he's never had any of that. And I imagine like there are some men who have, to a certain extent, had some of it from like a man figure or experience. But I literally think that Dan has had, like, he's amazing in so many ways, and he's got so many skills that I wish I had. But everything where I feel like he could be even better at, he's never had like that push, or that he's not even aware of half of it. So yeah, thank you very much